Well, good evening. We are back. Yeah, Super League Raw Weekly live in the house. Get your comments in the chat. We can have a bit of a chat with you this evening. Paul Bowman already in. Craig Forth also already in. Good to see you. I think who is it that's got it was Fraser. Fraser's got his Super League Raw merch on the way proudly there. Modelled by Mr. Sale in time for Magic Weekend. As always, like, share, subscribe, and comment, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure everybody knows that you're watching Super League Raw Weekly this evening. Of course, been gone for a couple of weeks. First and foremost, thank you to Steph for the final whistle, mate. Great effort.
I'm sure I speak for everybody in saying come back, all is forgiven. It's great to see you both back from your well-deserved holiday. But I won't lie, it was a bit of a struggle on Sunday doing final whistle after a few pints watching the league game. I won't lie on that one.
I would never, ever guess.
You did a great job, mate. You did a great job.
Indeed. And, of course, Fraser on debut. That was good to see. Dawn getting in the swing. Absolutely marvellous. Wonderful stuff. Baz Kingston in the chat already. Evening all. Loving life. Dizzy Heights at the top. Greg Roach, good evening to you. He's in the chat. Ryan Birch is with us as well. Of course, hopefully we'll have their company at the weekend. More, I'm sure, will continue to come in. Right, whilst people are getting in and getting used to the fact we're back live and coming into the show, let's just do a little bit of Super League Raw news before we start. First and foremost, the Fantasy League. Actually, no, before we do that, Jamie Lawson and Peter Baylor. Thank you, gentlemen, for upgrading your membership. Really pleased to say that those two guys have upgraded. That's fantastic. So we'll hopefully see them on the final whistle soon. In terms of the Fantasy League, Mark Allen is now the leader for the non-members, just 42 points ahead of Peter Edwards. Good effort from him. And Ryan Birch, who's watching. Ryan, my friend, only 489 points ahead of Jamie Lawson. Jamie has been catching him, as has Super League Raw, only 658 behind Ryan. Had a bit of a right do over the holiday, me. I mean, there's a message there. Just don't manage it. I didn't do any transfers. I'll come back with me 12. Can't believe it. There you go. Happy days. Quiz night, that'll return in September. More on that as we get to the latter end of August, ladies and gentlemen. And In Conversation will return. Apologies from the people that were lining up, but I'm sure you can appreciate these things, especially this time of the season, etc. Very, very difficult. But I can confirm Gary Chambers, Connor Wrench, Alex Walmsley, and Danny Maguire are in the pipeline, and they will be coming soon. So that is the bit of Super League Raw news that we just needed to get through. Right, let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into the debate. Where should we start? Let's start there. We'll start with Sky Sports Plus or detention. Your thoughts on this one? Sky Sports Plus just showing highlights, streaming service, not showing the whole game. I'm a bit confused over this. The NRL app shows every game, highlights and full games, all the press conferences, everything. And Sky Sports Plus delivers highlights.
Yeah. Somebody's put in the chat there. I can't remember who it was. Oh, it's Paul saying it's because the soft game is back on that we're relegated to red button. I don't know. We promised at the start of the season that every game would be live. And I suppose every game is live to a certain degree, but we just can't watch them and record the ones we're not watching. And I just feel a bit shortchanged about it, to be honest. Getting back from a game, if everybody likes to go the game and then watch that game back, usually if they've won. When they get in, have a couple more beers, watch the game back, find out that the referee was actually right when he made that decision and you were calling it all names under the sun. I don't know. I mean, being in Greece, did I say I'd been on holiday? Being in Greece, there was a couple of 2 or 3 games on live, but we had to get the Warrington game on the Super League Plus app, which actually is easier to get onto than the Super League Plus app. So, a lot of people have had problems this weekend. Red button being unavailable, just a little bit amateur, I think.
I mean, to be fair, Steph, it's been Christmas Day, hasn't it? It's been Christmas Day. Yeah. We record all the games, watch it at our leisure. And yet again, in these negotiations, I mean, have your chat on Super League Raw, on Super League Plus, but also Derek Beaumont coming out and saying that the IMG proposal as it is was not what he was sold. So again, another little sideswipe at the Rugby Football League in the terms and Super League that they just couldn't negotiate a good deal if it bit them on the bum.
Yeah, no, it's with the Super League, the Sky Sports Plus thing, I think it's going to be a really good service. I just think it's a bit of teething with Sky in terms of launching it. As you know, my brother's a developer for Sky, and he's already raised it with them. So hopefully we'll be getting sorted. He's pretty confident. There's no reason why it can't be. So all hail David Sale to the rescue on this one.
That's good news. But
what I would say, Reggie, to Mr. David Sale is I'm sure that all of our followers would love the dulcet tones of the Super League Raw team on commentary, as opposed to the commentary team that was in situ for the Warrington game. You know, Mr. Wells, he might be decent on the side. Why is Wells he doing? He's not a commentator. Wells, put a bit of passion into the game.
Yeah. John Wells, tell me you don't like Warrington without telling me you don't like Warrington. Unbelievable.
Just on Derek there, you mentioned Derek. I'd just like to take a minute. Unfortunately, Derek's brother passed away over the weekend. So I just wanted to send out our condolences from all of the Super League Raw. I've literally just seen it myself now on Facebook. So I know Derek's away at the moment, and I know he does watch this show, but I just want to let him know our thoughts are with you, mate.
Well, Mr. Beaumont, absolutely, without doubt, sincere condolences for that. I mean, I presume, don't want to pry too much, but it sounds like that's come at a bit as a shock, has it, Steph?
He passed away in his sleep over the weekend, they've said.
God bless him. God bless him.
Condolences to all the family,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the family gone, isn't it? One of the rugby league family. Yeah, Derek, our sincere best wishes to you and your family. Right, I mean, where do you go from that? OKR. Let's go to OKR. Let's have a little chat about them, gentlemen. You know what an incredible run of games now OKR have had. They're on a 5-game winning streak in Super League. Title contenders.
Definitely, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I said at the start of the season, I think they would be, and they had that little bit of a blip in the middle there, but yeah, they're right up there with Warrington and Wigan for me. You know, they can beat both of those sides. They've proven that. So you know, there's no reason why they shouldn't be considered one of the favourites to get to Old Trafford, if not win it.
I'd love them to get there. I really would.
Yeah,
I really, really do want two different teams, two teams that have not won the Super League before. I want them, whether that's Warrington or not.
So you go for a late OKR final?
Yeah, why not?
I do think, you know, again, this is, look, Wigan are a champion side, they are, and we say this all the time. St. Helens have been a champion side, but, you know, the competition needs a degree of variety and a little bit of jeopardy as well. It needs that. And I do think, in the same spirit as KR and Lee, probably got a lot of people tuning in just because it was a bit different, you know. And I think that's the thing. I think if it was a KR Warrington final, a KR, you know, Lee, if they managed to get in there, Catalan, whatever, I just think it'd be a really, really interesting view. It could help the viewing figures. And who knows, people might be able to watch it back in full on Sky Sports Plus. You know? Who knows? Yeah, David Sale might have worked his magic by the time that happens. But no, I mean, look, KR, I mean, I have to say, round 21, brilliant win over the Castleford Tigers. Took him a while to get going. Nice try from, was it Rooney who got the first one? I think it was, wasn't it? Was it Rooney? Fletcher Rooney got trying that one?
The Cats.
For Cats, yeah.
No, that was against us.
Was that against you? So it's all a blur because I've put 2 weeks together in a day, which it's a blur. So you're going to have to help me out tonight. But the tries that KR scored against Castleford, very, very special indeed. I mean, yet again, gents, you know, I dare say they're more dangerous from 40 metres out than they are 20 metres out, 10 metres out. I mean, some of the transitional play from round halfway. I mean, when they get into full flight, is there at the moment, is there a better team attacking from 40 out than Hull KR?
No, I don't think so. I think the especially with the halfbacks that are missing in the other teams at the moment as well. I think them and Warrington, obviously with the Matty Ashton threat and Dufty, I think they're both on probably a similar thing. But Mikey Lewis is just outstanding, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah,
as well?
He stepped up another game, Mikey Lewis.
Yeah.
Over the last month, he's just almost unplayable at this moment in time. And I was going to say what you were saying, Steph. You know, as a Warrington fan, I think Warrington are probably the only team at this moment in time who are as dangerous, and because of the threats that Matty Ashton poses.
Yeah.
Well, the interception tries they've scored over the last few weeks prove that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Those two teams at this moment, we're not saying in the entire league throughout the season, but at this moment are the biggest threat.
Well, we've got to have a bit of sport on a Tuesday night. I mean, Paul Francis, come on, behave yourself, dearie me. Doddy's better than Lewis. He said that Doddy's better than Lewis. Never in a million years. I couldn't agree with you.
Ken Dodd, yeah.
Ken Dodd, maybe, yeah.
Tickle stick. He's been
dead 10 years.
Lewis outstanding. Jai Whitbread's been outstanding. You know, he's been a massive signing for him. I think, you know, I've been a fan of Whitbread's for. I thought when they took him and Tang, you know, I thought that was astute. I really did at the end of last year. I know Warrington was sniffing around Tang, you know, but yeah, they just look at the moment. It's confidence, isn't it? That's the key word. When a team is playing with confidence, they chance the round because they believe it'll come off, and it is. It's coming off time and time again, isn't it?
And I think that's come from Peters. That in terms of he's given them rein to do that. You know, he's obviously said to them, "Play what you see in front of you." You know, but I think they earn the right to do it as well, which is the key thing from a coach's point of view. They'll always say you've got to earn the right to do it, but then crack on. You know, and I think that's especially when you've got a place like Lewis who can create something out of nothing and. But then you've got those players to back you up, like your Evalds coming through and players like that as well.
Yeah,
so,
you know, Lewis is taking all the headlines, but they're a well-balanced side.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of pace as well.
Yeah.
Iku, Evalds, are all in good form.
Yeah, Burgess has kind of found his feet in the centres. I think he's still in the centres. He was a bit of a I wouldn't say disaster. No, that's too harsh, but. He wasn't happy at fullback. That was clear to see.
He's been
Masterstroke bring him into the set. He was great for Warrington in that short time he played for us in 2017.
Yeah, well, all I will say, I've got to put my hand up. I you know, go and watch the first show of the season. I don't know. I KR out the top six. I mean, what do I know? I mean, honestly, I did not expect this from KR, and maybe I should have done. I just felt there was too many changes, and it might take a bit of time to gel. But
it's all right, mate. I had Warrington out the top six.
I don't know what I can't remember what I predicted.
Oh, it's a long time ago. But no, look, KR fans out. Look, all I would say to our Robins watchers, look, enjoy it. You know, and if you're on a podcast listening to us, enjoy it. You know what a journey Hull KR have been on. It's been unbelievable, and for me, what makes it even better as a neutral where they're concerned, they're doing it the right way. They're doing it with great rugby league. You know, the supporters are turning up. It's a blueprint for me of how to come up from championship. I mean, Steph always says it. Leah followed a similar path in that respect. You know, these two, and look at what Wakey are doing now. And I think that, you know, KR in some respects were a bit of a trailblazer where that whole strategy around marketing and all the rest of it came in because Leah followed suit. Of course, they've done it their own way. There's part of what Lee's done that's better than what KR's done, but they're both trying new things and different things. And Wakey appears to be doing something very, very similar, which is going to be great for the comp next year. I mean, look, London haven't let us down. I mean, while we've been away, Greg, Catalan, 10.
That's done a lot of damage to Catalan, that defeat, I think. It's just...
Mate, Catalan, 2 golden points. So they've had one against Huddersfield, they've had one against KR in the last 6 weeks. They've got beat by London. You know, I mean, they're clearly panicking with all the ins, the outs, and it looks like Tompkins is going to be out as well for a bit. But when I saw that result come through, wow! And again,
and London, is it Benyak?
By Benek.
Lewis Benek.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Took his try well, didn't he?
Wow, he's a unit.
And Roach as well at fullback. He's just scoring tries for fun.
Yeah.
But
you know, I think those two. There are more than a couple of London players who wouldn't struggle to get Super League contracts next season.
Good Lord, Greg. It's like you've read the scripts and you've not. Marvellous stuff. Let's go straight to Josh Rourke, shall we? Because this is another predetermined question I have. Look, for me, Leeds have got to be looking. I mean, I thought Miller had a good game at the weekend, and he did. I've got to give Miller his due. He had a really good game. But for me personally, gents, you know, Rourke, the way he's played since he's come back, I mean, I'm looking around the league. It's the most logical one. Maybe Wakey's probably spent a lot of cap now. Wakey not beyond the realms. I mean, because They put Morgan in the halves at Catalan. I mean, if they got a scrum half coming in next year, Catalan, I can't remember now. They bought anyone?
I don't think so.
No, they've got a couple of Aussies coming in, haven't they?
So again, help us out in the chat, but the bottom line there is because they put Morgan in the halves because Tompkins have come back. Maybe Catalan would be a bit of a shout as well, but for me, Rourke absolutely deserving. And I thought the Bassett try in the Catalan game was beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, go on, lad.
He had a really good game. He had a really good game, Bassett. There's another one that, I don't know whether they'd be starting players, but even if Leeds did sign Rourke, just to put pressure on Miller would be a good thing. Just that competition for places.
How old is he, Josh Rourke? Do we know?
He's not 24, I think.
Yeah, 23.
He's a little bit young for Catalan yet, isn't he? Usually in your 30s when you go to Catalan.
Oh, dear, mate. But no, like I say, I mean, Rourke definitely. And do you know what? Nobody's talking about Leyland. It's bonkers because Leyland, he's a little pocket rocket, isn't he? He's that ilk of player, isn't he?
Yeah.
But at the moment, I mean, obviously Bill Leyland's gone, hasn't he? But he's a player. I mean, he's had it, and like that I can't remember what game it was. It might again because they both blend into one. I think it was the Catalan game. He did a 40-20, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think he did. If I can remember.
Got a good game on him. Really, really good. Really, really, really good. Oh yeah, Luke Keary from the Roosters. Well done, Kai. Kai Fowler saying that it's Luke Keary coming in from the Roosters. But competition for places and all that because what I mean. What's that?
Greg Roach.
Does Bassett have all sorts of skills, mate? Absolutely. That's what we like to see. Bit of giggle. No, nice one. Happy days. But no, look, they've got to start picking those type of players up. We want those players in Super League, don't we? Because for me, I've seen enough of Rourke, Leyland, and Bassett. They're Super League players, no doubt about it. They are players.
Beaniek is, from what I've seen of him.
I reserve judgment on that. He had a good game against Wire. I'm not. He's not. I tell you, he's gone right under the radar because obviously, am I giving anything away when I say this? I don't think I am. No, I'm not. When I was doing the Team of July and obviously looking through the games that I've got and going through all the stats and this, that, the other, and I know Alex Sharp also always says you can't go solely off stats, and I get that. But I tell you, who's going under the radar? Reece Kennedy at London. Reece Kennedy. Yeah. Because at KR he didn't pull up any trees, prone to an error or two, but his meter stats and his tackling stats really good.
Yeah, I think the case with London is you're under absolutely no pressure whatsoever.
No,
as far as results go, performances, but as far as results go, nobody expects them to win. Nobody expects them to be in Super League next season because it is what it is.
Yeah.
So just go out there and try and pick yourself up a contract, and a lot of them are rising to that challenge. I think.
Happy days. Days.
I think they're probably 2 or 3 players short of a very, very decent team, London.
Well, there's
really got a great coach.
I think, Greg, there's a lot of discontent over IMG at this moment in time, and London are really pressing the hammer down on that a little bit at the moment. It's good. I think it's going to be fascinating. I think when you start hearing Derek Beaumont's coming out, and I've heard on the, I mean, Carl Fitzpatrick came out and he said, must do better. When you're hearing that from the clubs, there's a fracture there. There's an absolute fracture there, and I think it's going to be a fascinating close season. Fascinating.
Yeah, I think you made the point a couple of weeks ago, Dave, that the money that has been spent for very, very little results at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And I did say quite a while ago, I was a little bit afraid it might be Emperor's New Clothes with IMG, and I think Steph, you said something similar, although you were more supportive of it, aren't you, Steph? IMG in a lot of ways with stadium improvement, etc.
I am in terms of improving standards, but I am also a fan of promoting. It'd be very hypocritical of me to say I'm in favour of people staying up in leagues based on facilities and stuff, because for 20 odd years I campaigned for Leeds to get up through the promotion system, and I think there are teams outside like potentially your Bradfords and your Widnesses and teams like that, if they were to get investors to come in, but you could argue that there is still a route for them to do that. They've just got to do it, through that system. But they've not really brought. I'm a bit disappointed, I'd say, with IMG. I thought they would have brought some more razzmatazz I would have said. Bit of Eddie Hearn style of
Yeah. That's what it needs.
That's what I thought we were going to get, and I don't think they've delivered that.
Well, Bazza Kingston there saying he would have rather seen Super League Casford London. That for me, I'll go first on that, Bazza. We've got a bit of time tonight, so we'll let you know if you've got questions. We'll try and come at them as quickly as we can. We might do a Q&A at the end. But hey, for me, I'll start on that. That's a real difficult one. It's a difficult one in the fact that I've got a lot of respect for Casford Tigers fans. You know, they don't deserve their club to be kicked out of Super League. The way that club's been managed over the years is not their fault. They've turned out week in, week out, good attendances at Castleford. Good attendances. So for me, I'd be sorry to see Castleford go for the supporters, but I think we all agree. Sorry, club, the people who run the club, you might get your just desserts there. But I fear for the fans, I fear for the club, and you know, I would want to see Castleford go. I think for me, there isn't enough money, and again goes back to IMG. What have they done to increase revenue this season? There's a question that the clubs couldn't have done themselves, because we won a 14-team comp. That would eradicate a lot of what we're talking about here. But London Broncos, for me personally, the way they've gone about it this year, had they have had a chance, we all agree, had they have had a chance of staying up, they'd have invested more.
Yeah.
And that could have been the difference. And I'll tell you now, they still might not finish bottom. They still might not finish bottom. Mate, they managed to stay one up, Steph. If they managed to go 11th with their history in the competition as well, because how Toulouse have a higher grading than London Broncos, and that's the nonsense of it. The amount of years London Broncos have been in the comp. You know, this year their attendances have been better. They played the expanse. I personally, 14 teams is the answer, but I do fear. I think London are gone. I don't think that's going to be turned around, and I'm sorry to say that. I think they've been good value, and I feel for Mark Eccles. But you might stay in Super League, Huddersfield Giants fans. And just
all Leeds fans.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I can see it. I can see that. But Casford, I'd be very, very worried. I'd be worried.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Castleford, London, I suppose at the end of the day, whoever deserves to stay in Super League deserves to stay in Super League. But London, I kind of maybe Steph may disagree or agree. London are in the kind of position where Lee were a few years ago when they were promoted and didn't expect to be promoted. And you know, if Leeds have invested more, and they ran a few of the top teams very, very close in those first few weeks. And you kind of learn from experience, I think, didn't you, Steph? Because when you came up last year, you'd built a team capable.
Yeah, I think
not only staying in Super League, but winning the Challenge Cup and finishing top six.
Yeah.
And I think London will probably are down, but I do hope that they learn from the experience like Lee did and invest and come back stronger.
Yeah.
That would be my answer to that.
Yeah, and I think Wakefield as well in terms of
it's
the best thing that's ever happened to Wakefield in terms of transferring their club and letting them to rebuild. But I mean, the Lee one was we got the Toronto place when they went out and we applied through the back door. The problem was with that is we had no time to recruit anybody because when they did, it was like November, everybody was already signed up, and it's a bit like for London as well, because they wouldn't have been recruited for Super League because they probably thought we haven't got a hope in hell, you know, with the way Featherstone were going and that kind of thing. So I think they were just as shocked to get in. You're right. I think Lee have set for the modern day way to get into Super League. Lee have 100% set the blueprint for doing that. You've got to have a Super League side in the Championship. But we'll see. But I think Wakefield, if you're looking at their recruitment, they're going to come in all the guns are blazing, aren't they, next year with the signings they've made?
Well, Greg Roach, Super League Royal member, and of course, Dorset Tones of Final Whistle. Of course, he'll be signing some autographs on Saturday, I'm sure. Why can't we 14 teams next season? The answer to that, Greg, quite simply, money. And again, I go back to IMG. What have they done to raise the purse to give us the shot of 14 teams? Because at this moment in time, I think competitively, we could do 14. Easily. And then, you know, a 3-year license, 14 teams, get rid of the Luke fixture, game on. We'll talk Magic on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, for the first time ever, we're going to do a Magic preview show this coming Friday night, 8 p.m. Oh, yes, we're not going to talk Magic tonight. It's got its own show. Join us this Friday, 8 p.m. Magic Weekend Special. Go on, lad. Right, we've got lots to get through. We're going to go with Coach of the Month for July, probably the easiest one that we've ever had. We've had contenders. We've put contenders up on the screen pretty much all the way through the season. There are no contenders. Only one coach won 4 games out of 4 in the month of July, and that was Sam Burgess. So Sam Burgess, an absolute shoo-in for Coach of the Month in July, the only coach to win 4 from 4 in the calendar month of July. And this is how he did it. Huddersfield 48-0, Leeds Rhinos 30-18, then 2 away games, a 24-10 win against Saints. Let's not forget, had Harrison not been sent off, I think they'd have got a big nosebleed that day, Saints. Warrington came out the traps, and they had him. Harrison made it probably more respectable for Saints, quite frankly. And Wigan Warriors, again, very similar to the Leeds one this week. I don't think anybody saw Warrington winning that 40 points to 4, but they were great value. He started July in 4th. He finished July in 1st. Gentlemen, no arguments. Sam Burgess, July Coach of the Month.
Can't argue with that, I don't think. Willie Peters obviously had another good month with KR, but I think Sam deserves it.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that's his first. That's his first
argue.
That's his first one. He's not. I mean, and that might surprise some people. That's the first time Burgess has won it. I think Peters has had one. I know Pete's had one. So yeah, but no, well done to Sam Burgess. I think, to be fair, overall for the season, he probably deserves 1 and 4 from 4 in the month of July. Well done to Sam Burgess, right?
For a rookie coach, for a so-called rookie coach as well.
Yeah.
Good going.
Very good.
Very good going.
Very good. Right. We now come to that moment where we've done coach. We now need to do team of the month. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Now, look, there'll be some of you going, where are certain players? Don't forget, we normally do team of the month right at the end of the month. We're 2 weeks into August. So don't let this cloud your judgment. You've got to remember, because we've been away, we're 2 weeks out here. So there's a lot of players at the moment who are in great form who actually, if it was the last 4 weeks, would probably be in this squad. But it's the July team of the month. That's what it is. So just wanted to set the record straight on that one. So, gentlemen, here comes the official Super League Raw team of the month for the month of July. So there it is. For those who are listening on the podcast, I'll go through the team for you. Fullback Matt Duffy on the wings, Liam Marshall and Innes Senior. In the centres, Jake Wardle and Alex Mellor. Standoff, George Williams. Scrum half, Mikey Lewis. The prop forwards are Jai Whitbread, Paul Vaughan, Liam Horn, the hooker, Ellie El Zakim, who's having a really good season for the Casford Tigers. He's in the second row alongside Kai O'Donnell, who's in great form, not only in July, but continuing to be so in August. And Ben Garcia at loose forward on the interchange bench for the 4th month in a row. You can't fault him. He's out of the starting lineup, but he's still on the interchange bench. Erman SASA still playing his trade really well. Lachlan Lamb coming into form. He manages to get a bench spot. Jesse Sue, another KR player, he's on the bench. And Josh Rourke as well of the London Broncos. He gets a nod. Gentlemen, a lot of Casford Tigers players in there. Just, let's remind ourselves, July, what a July Craig Lingard had. Beat St. Helens, of course, in a tight one. Then he beat London. Then he beat the Catalan Dragons. And had he beaten Salford, I think there certainly would have been a debate around Coach of the Month. I really do. But, of course, he lost to Salford, making it a bit easier for Sam Burgess. Greg, first time you've seen that team. Your thoughts, sir?
I can't argue with it, to be honest, Dave. I think Jake Wardle is quickly becoming the informed centre in Super League. He's been decent all season, but he's kind of he's getting to the top of his game. Good to see Alex Mellor and Innes Senior in there as well. And I'm El Zakim, he had a great month.
Right.
He was ripping up trees in July. So yeah, absolutely no arguments with that whatsoever.
Well, before I go to you, Steph, on the point of El Zakim, should Castleford Tigers drop out of Super League, I think he's got a lot of admirers and has won a lot of friends this season, don't you?
Yeah, no, he's been great and really coming into form in July. I think it's really interesting for me that there's only Liam Marshall in the starting 13 from last month, which is it just goes to show about form, isn't it? And how players come in and out of form throughout the the season. But I think obviously there's players we've mentioned already tonight. Jai Whitbread, outstanding. In his senior again at Cass has been great. And Kai O'Donnell, well, if we did count last week as well in terms of this, he'd be probably captain as well with 4 tries.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, really good team of the week that, and obviously you've got to give SASA a mention again. You know, to be making the team 4 months on the trot is some achievement.
He's just. I mean, his power is incredible, and his work rate on both sides of the ball. You know, and again, another player that sorry, all FC fans, but something tells me that when his contract comes up for negotiation, there'll be a lot of techers for him and SASA in Super League.
Definitely,
there really will. There'll be a lot of people knocking on the door for him. Right, of course, in the interest of time, there is your team of the month for team of the month for July. As you know, you will pick, oh, well, you won't pick, we've already picked it, but you can tell us who you'd be your player of the month. It's a tough one. Some real candidates in there. Only the 1 to 13 guys qualify. Only 1 to 13, not the bench. That's something we've added this year, but it's a 1 to 13. Who of that 1 to 13 would you put in there? Does FSS how many Man of Steel points? It's all behind closed doors after round 16, my friend. That's Craig Forth. So, Craig, who knows, mate? All I can tell you is that, you know, in a transparent kind of way, I can tell you how many he's got in Super League roles, if you'd like me to. This won't spoil it because we are going to look at we are going to be looking at the awards a little bit later. But Herman is not in our top 5 at the moment, but he's very, very close. He's got 23 points in the Super League Raw Player of the Year trophy. So we recognise what a great player he is. Ryan Birch already going in saying Mikey Lewis. We will see a bit later. So yeah, think about that, and then we'll ask you to get your names in when we revisit it, when we announce the player of the month a little bit later in the show. But that is the team of the month for July. Marvellous, outstanding, tell you, always love these shows. Right, round 21, we're going to have a quick look at round 21. We've already talked a little bit about it, but we'll continue to talk a little bit about round 21 in a minute. And just to help us with our discussions, I think it's only right and appropriate that we take a look at the top performers from round 21. Here they are.
Here are your top performers from round number 21 of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorer this week with a magnificent 4 for the Lee Leopards was Kai O'Donnell. The most try assists came from the Lee Leopards' Lachlan Lamb with 5. Whilst the top meter maker was the Warrington Flyer, Matty Ashton with 232. The top tackle buster was once again Kai O'Donnell with 13. And he also made the most clean breaks of the round with 3. The most offloads, well, it was a party where you invited with 3 apiece. Zach Hardacre and our levels, Sam Hewitt, Paul Vaughan, Junior Insemba, Reece Kennedy and Hakeem Maludi. The top hard meter maker was Kai O'Donnell, 165. What a week for the second rower. The top tackler was Jared O'Connor of the Leeds Rhinos with 52. Whilst the top goal kicker was Reece Martin of the Leeds Rhinos with 7. These are your top performers from round number 21 of the Betfred Super League.
They are the top performers from round number 21. These were the results. Saints 17, Red Devils 16, the Giants 22, Dragons 23, the Robins 36, Tigers 6, Rhinos 30, Wigan 4, the Leopards 42, Hull FC 12, and the London Broncos 22, the Warrington Wolves 36. I'm going to start with Lee because we've just seen the top performers. Kai O'Donnell. I mean, what an incredible... I mean, I've put here, that is perhaps one of the most dominant second row performances I've seen in Super League possibly ever.
Yeah, I can't recall a second row scoring 4 tries. I don't know when that happened. If it has, you know, it's a phenomenal thing. But I mean, he's made a living off Lachlan Lamb. Them two telepathy when it comes to running lines and when to hit him and when not to hit him. He's going to be a massive, massive loss for Lee. Quite rightly, going back to the NRL, I think he's NRL standard all day. The Cowboys, and you can't begrudge him that. And the service he's give to Lee, he's been outstanding ever since he got here. But yeah, it was so sometimes players have a purple patch, don't they? And I think he was just on fire at the weekend. Unplayable in that second row position, and it was interesting that he came from his standard runs, but also kick throughs as well. They were all different types of tries. They weren't all the same.
Yeah. I mean, as Dave says, it was the perfect second row performance.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding.
Well, if you were to show kids coming through the game what a second rower does, show him that game or her that game. Show them that game, and show them Kyle O'Donnell's performance and say that is what a second row does.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, how many tackles did he make, Dave? Do you know off the top of your
head? I do. Well, just for clarity, let's get into it. So
I knew you would.
I mean, Wardle, 4 tries, one assist in this. Only 19 tackles, but his tackle was 13. Yeah. 3 clean breaks. Carried the ball 21 times for 165 metres. I mean, come on. That is just outrageous. It's outrageous for a second rower to post numbers. I mean, that's almost a halfback and a sense.
It was the angles he was running as well. As you say, Steph, it was almost he knew when to run off Lamb and he knew when to not run off him, if that makes sense. Yeah. When to let other people get involved. It was superb.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that he came to us as an unknown quantity as well. And I think this is what a lot of people underestimate with Lee in terms of the recruitment recently, especially from Australia. When you look at your likes of Asiata, Amon, Kai O'Donnell, even Penne coming in now, he looks like he's going to be a player when he settles in. Yeah. The advantage of having the Australian assistant coaches is a hell of a lot of contacts over there. So I don't think it's any coincidence that he's another one. But he was one that came to us when we were in the Championship, and what a player he's turned out to be. I think he'd get in any Super League side. I think any Super League side would have Kai O'Donnell.
100%. Most NRL teams. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, going back to Greg's point, I've not seen angles like that since the last played with a protractor, mate. I'm telling you, incredible stuff. What I would say in this game as well, some lovely tries. O'Donnell's tries were lovely. I thought the grubber kick one was nice. I thought Harday, because I think it was his second. Lovely team move on the left hand side. It was a beautiful try.
Yeah. They did well. First half, I thought Hull FC played really well. We could have run away with it, and they actually, got it back to 12-all. I think it was at half time.
Mate, Moy's try was equally as impressive, mate.
It was, yeah. They've definitely got a lot to build on next season. Maybe take a bit of inspiration from Hardacre and those who'll be there. The 2024 Leopards will be the 2025 FC, won't they? So
all I will say is Mr. Charnley. He won his time again with Mr. Barron, because Harvey absolutely did him, didn't he? Let's say hello to a couple of Super League Raw members. Nicola Burtonwood is in the house. Good evening, Nicola. Always a pleasure to have you on. Joe Dalgreen is with us as well. Good to see you. Baz is there. Craig Forth is there. It's good stuff. They're all in there. But no, cracking performance from Lee. And like I say, O'Donnell, it was only right and it was only appropriate that we just basked in the glory of what was just quite simply. I mean, how Sam Stone keeps him out of the team in a week, I do not know. But that's by the by. That's one of those things. Because Steph now is like, right, giving stuff away. Anyway, I think that's a shoe-in of anybody's team in a week. Anyway, we've done. Saints, 17-16. Salford have had a good crack at Saints this year. Harry Robertson, man of the match. Almost in by saves an absolute try. I mean, if you watch that, if you haven't watched the Saints Salford game, Mbai's on the other side of the pitch making a tackle. It spins out to the left and he puts the afterburners on. Commitment for his side and stops a certain try from Dion Cross. It was a thing of quality. He made an assist in the game. He kicks the drop goal. I mean, tackled his life out. And then because Sky want to talk to the young lad, it
is a nonsense, and he's been talked up as the new James Tedesco since he was warming up in his first game a few weeks ago. And they're building too much pressure on the lad.
Yeah,
he's going to be a very, very good player. A very good player. Let him develop at his own pace. Yeah. Don't turn him into the next Sam Tompkins, the next Wellesby, the next whoever. Stop it.
Well, the thing is, Greg.
I've worked in the media for years, and I see how it works. they build these players up and they're all too ready to knock them down. Just stop it. Let him develop at his own pace, because he won't be in the team next year if the team, or he'll be in and out sporadically. He's not going to cement his first team place this year.
Well, he's there because of injuries. He's there because of injuries, isn't he? But I mean, I remember last year when we were doing, a lot of question marks over Moses Mbai last year. Sometimes you've got to give players a bit of just give them some breathing room. What Mbai in this game, class, absolutely. How they could, and again, they're supposed to be experts of the game, and they are experts of the game. But that is proper media bias where we want the young lad Robertson on the no.
Yeah.
Mbai was man of the match, country mile.
Did he kick the drop goal as well?
Yes, mate.
So he did. He played really well. He did that amazing cover tackle and kicked the drop goal winner and still
won the game for Saints. Yeah,
he was absolutely different gravy with Moses Mbai in that game. I mean, for me, I would say possibly one of his best performances in a Saints Ellen shirt. He was that good. But I want to pay tribute to Salford. Salford have had a really good run at Saints this year. Really good run at them, and came very close again, and that'll please Paul Rowley. I'm sure it will. But sport hurts, boys. Bell's tackle on Logan Lewis. Oh, bruising!
Yeah, there was a bell to that one.
That'll sting in the morning,
mate. But again, I mean,
it was a bell ringer.
It was a bell ringer. I'll
tell you what, he had 2 lumps behind his ears when he got.
Oh, mate! But the thing is, he gets up and comes back on again. Class. Oh, rugby league players, don't you just love him? But again,
the boys know Ronaldo, is
he? Mate, we know James Bell's got that in his locker. I mean, when he puts a hit on, by God, does he put a hit on? That was.
Yeah. Oof. What about the Knowles tackle?
Oh, shocking.
Well, let's have a quick chat about that, because of course in this game there was a lot of yellow cards. Knowles, of course, will be missing at Magic Weekend because of his indiscretion. I don't think Knowles can have any real argument with that, if I'm being honest with you. Shorrocks, possibly right. Right. I think the two for me. Let's have a little chat around these. And it was the same incident. No.
Bachelor.
So let's have a chat about this. So Bachelor clearly thinks that Logan Lewis is play acting. When you watch the replay, he does catch him on the chin. Whether there was sufficient force or not is questionable, but it's an off-the-ball challenge. We've seen all year that off-the-ball challenges tend to get you a yellow. He's not been given a further ban. I think that's right. But based on what we've seen this year, but Bachelor was filthy, wasn't he? Bachelor was absolutely filthy over it. He thought Lewis had play acted.
I think this is the problem we've got now in terms of the players staying down. Then it's a bit like when players were passing the ball into people. You remember that a couple of seasons ago to get penalties. Even if you have genuinely injured a player now, people are just going to say, "Oh, he's play acting," kind of thing. So I think they've the players have got to take a bit of responsibility themselves here with that. But also, you could argue they're playing to if it's going to get you an advantage, then they're going to do it, aren't they? Whether that's right or wrong or indifferent.
I think people turn off from the sports stuff.
It's not a good look at all. But this is they kind of brought it on themselves now, where if a player doesn't stay down injured, it doesn't get reviewed. So if that player jumps straight up, then there's no yellow card there.
Well, Milner did it. I mean,
and the thing is that the other players around him are telling them to stay down.
Yes, exactly. But what I don't get is how Knowles can do a tackle like that, get a yellow, and then it goes to match review panel and he gets 2-game ban or whatever it is for it.
Straight red.
So if he has been reviewed by the video ref, you can see how bad it is there. You're looking at exactly what the match review panel think. If they had done it's 2-game ban, why is it not a red? When you see some of the ones they're getting for yellows, it was a lot worse than that. I was said straight away it was a red card. Whether I believe it should be a red card is another question. But in the rules as they are, that was a red card all day for me.
Well, the thing is, Greg, George Williams has come out, hasn't he? George Williams has come out this week and said that he wants players to stop play acting. And I think this has got to be policed by the players. We know that rugby league is a sport community. You see the way that they're all interacting at a full-time whistle. I think they've got to get together as players. They always talk about players. We need an influence in the game. Well, here you go, lads. Here's an opportunity for you to influence the game. Have a chat with yourselves. because this is not in the spirit of rugby league.
I'll give you another example, Dave. St Helens with John Asiata. They did it again this season at the league at Lee home game this season. As soon as Asiata made a perfectly legal tackle, it weren't even what they call the Asiata tackle now, and they were all going in trying to get him sent off. And that's exactly the same thing. It's trying to mitigate a circumstance manipulate a circumstance to get players sent off, which is wrong in everybody. No one wants to see that in any of our games.
That's football. When that happens, that becomes football.
Yes. It's a similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's a similar kind of thing where players are trying to influence off something that's not there.
I was a bit disappointed.
Sorry, Dave. An example of that, again, Warrington Saints, with the sending off.
Harrison
jumped up straight away despite having suffered a HIA. He lost consciousness briefly, but jumped up straight away. Whereas the Saints player stayed down. Now, if you look at that slowed down, it's a head-to-head contact. And Harrison's shoulder makes contact with Noah Stevens as he's going back because he's been jolted back from the head-to-head contact. Harrison stays down. Who gets sent off there?
Well, the head clashes are nonsense, mate.
Yeah.
They're nonsense.
Well, Harrison, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Warrington fan, it's what I saw. He jumped up straight away despite his gum shield telling the bench he'd been knocked out cold. And yet Stephen stays down and you see Saints players over him saying stay down. You actually see them say it. And Harrison gets sent off. Yeah. Now that, to me, is the players that are doing that should be given a game. If you start suspending players who are clearly seen telling players to stay down, then they get the suspension.
Yeah, well,
as far as I'm concerned.
It's not a good look for the sport, and I, for one, hope that it sorts itself out because it needs to sort itself out. Well, let's go to the John Smiths. Unluckiness for Huddersfield Giants. I mean, looked like they were going to get a serious tonking, but fair play to them. They fought again. Robinson. They're showing a bit of spirit, aren't they? There's no doubt about that. Some lovely tries. I thought the Nagama try was very, very nice. I like Sam Hewitt as a player. I think he's a really good player. I was pleased he got his try as well. Thought the Bibby one, nice. Lola Haya, again, one from deep. Unlucky here, the Giants. They were really, really unlucky, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They look a different team at the moment compared to when they were under Watson. You can definitely say that Robinson's had an impact. I know they had a bit of a rubbish performance the other week, but they're playing better than they were, especially at home.
Yeah, I think Lola Haya is kind of got his rugby head screwed back on as well.
Yeah.
I don't know whether our Giants fans will agree with that or not, but I think Lola Haya I like him as a player. I think he's a really, really good league player. He's been missing a few times this season, but over the last few weeks with Robinson, it looks like he's got his rugby league head on again, and he's playing really, really well.
No, he's a good mate. Lola Haya on his day. Top draw. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. I have to ask, how did Seb Ikehefo get a point in the Albert Gold Fort this week? Anybody help me out with that one?
Probably because he learns how to say his name.
Anybody. Greg, help me out, Mr. Roach. He's saying Sam Hewitt, an unsung player. Absolutely. You know me, Greg, I'll always tip me hat to these unsung players. But yeah, I mean, Seb Ikehefo got himself a point in this game. I'm just like, nah, I'm sorry. Didn't see that at all. Shocking. Let's go to Leeds versus Wigan. Who saw this? Absolutely outstanding. Lovely tries, beautiful tries. Newman's lovely. Miller took his well. But before we get onto Leeds and bask in the glory of Leeds, there's a moment in this game. I think it's before the O'Donnell try. I think it led to the O'Donnell try, where Liam Marshall is going in. Well, the ball goes to ground, and he's like running towards the try line. And he's like, "Oh, I've just bombed a try." And he actually goes round the post as Leeds break with Brodie Croft. So Brodie, that whole move had about a 10-yard start, and Marshall, to his credit, he's just bombed a try. He's gone, oh my God, turns around, sees that Leeds are broke. They've got about a 10-yard start on him. And he's the one that tackles Brodie Croft. Not only is he a try-scoring machine this season, But I've got to tip my hat to Liam Marshall. That was one of probably the best passages of play where you've gone from hero to villain to hero. It was incredible from Marshall.
Yeah. He's quality, isn't it?
Class player.
Yes, it's not like what you can say.
Tom McKay, do you think Harry Smith's three-game ban is long enough? Look, it's interesting because Matt Pete said that his good character helped him. Let's not forget the spear tackle that never was at the start of the season. I like Harry Smith. I think the guy, again, you talk about players, good rugby league brains, good rugby league players. Harry Smith is absolutely that. There's no doubt. But that is a blot on his copybook in 2024, isn't it?
Yeah, I put it in the chat straight away. It was a red card as it was live happening, without seeing the replays. And then obviously when you see them, it was 100% intentional. It was frustration, I think, from Harry. It wasn't a good look for him. I said 3 games, so yes, I think 3 games is about right. Fair
enough, Greg. 3 games or more?
I think 3 games. He's not. Has he had a ban this season?
No, he got let off. He played the World Cup Challenge, didn't he?
Yeah. Did he get a ban last season? I can't remember. He's had a ban. He's had a game or 2, I think. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
But at the risk of being controversial, Greg, just at the risk, this was interesting. So on the highlights, there was many a spear tackle. So the Joe Batchelor clip round the head of Logan Lewis was on there. So there were so many yellow cards that were a part of the Super League official highlights. And just like the Castleford game at the start of the season with Harry Smith, it wasn't shown. It's not a part of the highlight reel. Now, just putting it out there, the only way you could actually find the Harry Smith incident was watching it live or going on to X after and finding it. Yeah. But for some reason, Batchelor's was on there. I think the Milner one was on there. There was loads of them on there. And one of the most controversial ones of the weekend, Harry Smith's, was omitted from the highlight reel. Explain that to me.
Just Wigan fans buy your grand final tickets now is all I can say to that.
You did ban him, to be fair. You did. Banned him for 3 games.
I did. I just found that really interesting. Craig Forth, he's asked who's the fastest player in Super League. I think that's been clocked. And Joel Dalgreen coming on the chat. I do think it is. I think it is Matty Ashton. I think they've actually. I think Annalie's close, but I think I can't remember who posted it, but they did post who the fastest was in flight, and I'm sure it was Ashton.
Ashton, it's something ridiculous, like
he's fast,
27k an hour.
Yeah,
it's almost Olympic sprint standard when he's in full flow. He's rapid. Joel Dalgreen's going in. I don't know if this is true or not. 36.5 kilometres.
36. My wife doesn't drive that quick.
I mean, I'm not being funny, Joe, but when he goes for those runs, you're not supposed to stalk him, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Just saying, mate. Just saying. But yeah,
running past us on the M6 this morning.
happy days. But yeah, anyway, there you go. But no, I mean, let's get to Leeds. All of a sudden, Warrington's game of Talk Magic on Friday. Going to be interesting, this one. Brad Arthur effect or not? Is it too early? But it was a very, very impressive performance from the Rhinos, this one.
Yeah, I think defensively, you can definitely see the difference since he's been there. They look a lot more organised, a bit more ruthless. The line speed seems to be getting a bit better, which I think is definitely an attitude coaching thing. And to restrict Wigan to just the 1 try for any team, given their attacking prowess, is a phenomenal achievement. But I thought attacking wise, that I don't think they were amazing by any means. I think that it was a really good team performance by Leeds. I was really disappointed with Wigan, and that's not taking anything away from Leeds. Like I said, defensively, I think they nullified Wigan completely. But it was a bit clunky at some points for me. But you've got to give massive credit to Leeds, given where they are. It was a huge win for them. They needed that. It's probably their best performance since they played us in the Rob Burrow game. When that was another incredible performance by Leeds.
Yeah. Your take on the Leeds game, Greg? I mean, you must have been as shocked as anyone when you saw the score.
Well, I think I predicted Wigan 7-19. I think I thought Leeds were going to put up a performance, but I didn't think they were going to win. 2 points for me. Just how important Field and French are to Wigan, and are Leeds going to do a Leeds special and play absolutely average for 3/4 of the season, then qualify for the top 6 and get to Old Trafford? Are they going to do it again?
Who knows, mate? Who knows? But
I think they did it last time, didn't they? Didn't they do it last time when they got rid of Agar? I think
Rowan Smith's first year.
Got to the final.
Rowan Smith's first year got him to the grand final.
Yeah,
exactly the same, carbon copy. But I just think for me, it's going to take something now to claw it back. It's going to take a big. But I'll tell you, if Leeds can beat Warrington at Magic, we'll talk about that on Friday. They'll fancy it.
Exactly, they will.
Definitely fancy it.
And they're at home. They're at home at Magic weekend. When was the last time we said that about a team playing at Magic? They're the home team.
I, as you know, keep an eye on social media. I'm going to be more. Before any Wigan fans, and Craig will tell you this. Craig's a Wigan fan, he's a member of Super League, but I'm very fair when it comes to Wigan. I've given him a lot of plaudits over the last 2 years, but I've just got to nail this. I've been looking at some of the dross on social media. Look, guys, but all this rubbish about 3 games in 10. League Leopards got a spanking, and defensive. It's defense that takes it out your legs, not attack. Lee got a spanking against Wigan. Lee then go out and get a convincing win the next round. So don't start giving me nonsense like that. Never in a million years. Wigan a couple of times this season have been, you could say not Wigan-like, but they rode the luck on a couple of occasions as well. Let's not forget that this year, Wigan. And they have. All credit for me has to go to Leeds. A bit of humility from our friends down at Pyland. Let's be kind. Let's be kind. Leeds played well. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah, 100%. 100%. Leeds played. It's probably one of the best performances of the season. The other one being against Lee, as Steph says.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due. You can only beat what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Wigan definitely had an off day, though.
Well, another team that had a bit of an off day.
You could say that against when we played them.
Yeah.
That they had an off day. But the fact was we had a really, really good day.
Yes.
And, you could say the same for Leeds, maybe.
And I'm not saying Leeds didn't play. Leeds played really, really well. They played well. But that Wigan side looked a different team from what played Lee on the Tuesday. And that was without Field. Field didn't play against us. So I don't know what's gone on there. But if you go and watch those 2 games back and look how Wigan defended against us. They didn't defend Leeds anything like that. Not even close to it. So there's something in there. I don't know what's gone wrong with them. And like Dave says, I don't buy this, the amount of games and stuff, because it didn't seem to affect us against Hull FC.
No.
But you're professional sports people. You 100%. Train day in, day out.
Yeah, they've got something wrong. Either it's the build up to the game, whether they've not prepared well enough. There was something wrong. That was not the Wigan we've seen this season.
No.
And you've seen over the season that Wigan have slotted players in and out through injuries and resting players, and managed to put better performances together than that.
Yeah,
Leeds just did their homework better, I think.
Yeah, I think they shocked him. I think they got him off guard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw it against Wigan. I mean, Hull FC beat Wigan. Let's not forget, they went to Hull FC and lost at Hull FC. Yeah. Like I say, it's not like they've been. This is they've been results this year where Wigan would look at it and go, on paper, you're thinking, yeah, it's Wigan. But what it shows is that in our competition, you've got to turn up. Another team that didn't have as good a week as expected was Warrington. I think defensively, Sam Burgess will be very disappointed with the Warrington defence against London. That said, again, all credit to London. I thought London, yet again, proving that they will stay in the grind. At no point did I feel the result was in jeopardy. I always thought that Warrington would get the job done. At no point in the game did I not think that. But London showed yet again they're not going to have the belly tickled. They're going to stay in the grind. And, they've earned my respect over the course of this season. And as Burgess said himself, he's seen a massive improvement in London compared to the first 2 occasions that they play. Well, 3 now, innit? Oh no, did we play them low? No, we're playing low. So we played them twice, and one in the cup, one at their gaff. and now we play them again at Halliwell.
Because we've got them last game of the season, haven't we?
That's right. Bertie said, mate, in the 3 games, Greg, it's been a remarkable improvement from London.
Yeah, all hats off to London.
Yeah.
Got it back to within 6 points. You can only give them credit. Warrington have been one of the form teams this season, which has surprised me. But I'm not a fan. I'm a United fan, and I was never a fan of Fergie's tactics of rotation, although it worked for him. I'm not a fan of resting players or whatever. I think you have to show total respect, and until your hands are firmly on that trophy, play the best team available to you. It's always been a sporting philosophy I've enjoyed. I think it can be disrespectful sometimes to teams. We did it the week before the cup final, and it backfired on us because we lost 2 points in the league. We lost the cup. London were fired up by it. There's no doubt about that. That's good coaching, as far as I'm concerned. Listen, these guys think you're a pushover. They're resting players. Go and show them. I'm not a fan of this rotation, this resting players, especially not until you've got your both hands on that silverware. Spot
on. I'll tell you what's surprising as well. You said, it's surprising. I'll tell you what's surprising. We must be hitting the nail on the head because the people that are watching tonight are very quiet. They must be just sitting back going, yes, you're spot on, boys. Get that Mr. Miyagi nail out and bang it in the fence is what they're saying. We're getting it on point, left, right and centre. That's what we like to see. Good effort. Now, for you KR fans who joined us late, we waxed lyrical at the start of the show about KR, so we're not going to go over old ground. KR, sensational at the weekend. Beautiful tries. Deservedly at the moment, top of Super League. Many, many congratulations to you all now. I appreciate that I've been gone for 2 weeks. And I knew we had to come back bigger and better than ever. So, Mr. Roach, I know you like a bit of Team of the Week. And I know, Greg, you like a bit of Team of the Week. So, this is, I'm gonna give this one to you. I'm gonna give you a shout out. Dedication. This one is for you. I actually think this is a beauty. I really, really do. So, as you know, the overlay of this is just a bit of sport. There's nothing comedy value about who we picked. That is absolutely who it should be. Our Team of the Week, we stand by it. However, this is good. I did like this one. So, Mr. Roach, this one's for you. Here is the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 21. The Super League Raw Team of the Week is proudly sponsored by the Good Estate Agent. Join the Rugby League community in trusting Stefan and his team when you are buying, letting or selling property.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 21 with the Good Station for 2024. Here we go again, and at fullback is Lockie Miller. Oh, this was perhaps his best game yet for the Leeds Rhinos. He was like a jammy dodger at times, weaving this way and that, but there was nothing jammy about his pick this week. At 2 is Joe Burgess. This ginger nut played the perfect game on the wing with big beaters, great link-up play and some wonderful execution. Talk about aftertaste. Burgess left spice in the throat of Matty Peets, and rumour has it still hasn't gone. At centre is his centre partner Petter Hiku. Even I got dizzy with this performance as he was like a Viennese whirl at time. Oh, his hips were twisting. How a tornado didn't start, I don't know. In the opposite centre is the classic Mark Percival, who yet again shone at key moments of the game against Salford in both attack and defence. You could say he's the custard creme de la creme of centres. At 5 is Matty Ashton, and just like a rich tea, if you blink you're going to miss the chance to gobble him up. A wonderful interception for the first, a blistering run to set up King, and great support play for his second. He left his mark at the bottom of the London Broncos Cup. At 6, Harry Robertson, man of the match Sky. In whose world? Moses embodied it all. Try-saving tackles, an assist and a drop goal that sealed the win for the Saints. Salford would have had more joy unwrapping a penguin in the Arctic with no gloves on than controlling Moses. This week our scrum half is the man who produced a 5-4-3-2-1 but not in that order. Oh yes, 5 assists for Lachlan Lamb over the last couple of weeks. He's shown why he's vitally important to the Leopards in 2025. They need to keep hold of him. Exceptional player. And 80s big Alex Walmsley. Without him, would they have got the job done against Salford? I don't think so. Big meters at crucial times. He was snapping Salford forwards like a Twix. And what's that Kit Kat? You decide at hooker is Danny Walker, who controlled the second half from the ruck at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. Oh, he made sure that the Broncos did not upset the apple cart. Danny displayed maturity that reminded me of an oaten raisin with plenty of cinnamon. Lovely. At 10, and this will surprise few, Lewis Bayneck of the London Broncos. Oh yes, he was up against Harrison and Vaughan, but he provided a solid performance for his club, and rumour has it he was passing out fruits, orange and mint varieties at full time. At 11, there's nothing Gary Baldy about James Bentley's performance this week. The man was rigid throughout, and just like a hobnob faces the challenge of a cup of tea, you could hear him shouting again to the oncoming Wigan attack. At 12 is Kai O'Donnell of the Lee Leopards, who on this form will be hard to replace next year. Forget your Jaffa cakes and your pink wafers, folks. Kai has nothing soft about him, and I for one I'm going to miss him next year, lighting up our competition. And finally at 13 is the legend himself, Leroy Cudjoe of the Giants. Forget your individual varieties, only borders or hatties are befitting of a player of this quality. Oh yes, he almost led his Giants to a famous win against the Dragons, but come up just short. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 21.
Takes the biscuit, that, Dave.
It does. I told you. Told you it was a special one. Told you it was a special one. Hey, Don Kirkby there to the biscuits. A very special team of the week indeed. Greg Roach, absolutely loving it. That was the best ever, he says, laughing aloud he is. A big smile from Paul Francis. Came up just short, Fred. Oh! That's what we're talking about. Get it all in there. Outstanding. Right, let's take a look at that team of the week yet again. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm comfortable with it. Happy boys.
I'm glad to see Benyek in there, or Benyek, or however you say his name.
Good. He's good. He played a good game.
He was superb against us. I really, really did.
Yeah. He played well. Lam and O'Donnell had to be in. I mean, Matt Percival, there was a lot of good set. I mean, again, Percival, like I say, I was watching that game. I mean, and again, this goes back to what Alex Sharp says about stats. They can mislead you because his stats actually, they don't resonate, but it's what he does. You know, key moments of the game, he'll put a shot on, or he'll take it 15, 20 yards out of his own back line. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time to just make key decisions and changes in a game. He was outstanding against Salford. When you consider who he was up against in McDonald, I thought he was really good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he does have the propensity, which is a big word for Tuesday night, in him to make a gaff and to get a card. But he's been a solid player over the years for St Helens. You know, injury prone. He's come through a lot of injury crisis. So,
Darren, good lad, hard to digest him. Absolutely. Wonderful stuff.
Oh, dear me.
Tell you, I have to say.
Is he Paul Jones? Is he a Yorkie?
Even the wife was belly laughing when she watched that one today. She said, that's outstanding. Anyway, that is the official team of the week. And you know, in the chat there, Greg Roach is saying about Walmsley impressive after returning for a long time. Absolutely, and you know that's a good point. They missed him. There's no doubt about that. You know, we've said this time and time again. He gives them punching power, doesn't he?
Sorry, Dave, I'm not laughing at you. Laughing at you.
Crumbs from Greg. Taxi for Darren. They're all coming out. Wonderful stuff. Outstanding. But yeah, Walmsley has shown the difference there, hasn't he? In terms of what they've been missing.
Yeah, but having said that, I'm just imagining everybody now on Google looking up names of biscuits.
Well, the question is, who's going to have a trio at the weekend? Oh, there you go. Get that one out there as well.
Have a nice bourbon.
Bourbon biscuit. Yeah, and by the way, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know where the Super League Raw team are at Magic Weekend on Saturday, we'll all be wearing blue ribbons. Oh, there you go. There goes another one going in there. Oh, it's a biscuit fest. Oh, how many people now have actually gone to the biscuit cupboard and gone, actually, I quite fancy a biscuit. Let's go. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, get in the chat. Which biscuit are you now eating at home? Let us know. We'll give you a shout out. Anyway,
what's your favourite biscuit of choice, people?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, let's
you don't get this with Sky.
No, absolutely not. You don't get this type of banter. Good Lord.
Oh, a rocky road to success.
Rocky road to success. Darren Jones going in. It's all going off. We'll keep giving you the shout-outs as we go through.
Gold.
Right, okay.
Gold.
Oh, what?
Gold. You remember gold bars?
Yeah, gold bars, yeah.
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 I thought Tony Hadley had joined the chat there for a minute.
Watch your fingers, says Craig Forth.
Oh.
It's all there. It's all there.
Have a break. Have a break.
Right. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Right. Okay. Breakaway. Yeah, let's break away. Right, let's break away from this chat. Right. Okay.
It's a long night, people.
It's a long night. Right, we're going to do Player of the Month because obviously we're going to do Player of the Month and then we're going to have a dip into the medal places before we go. Like I say, we are back live Friday night, 8 p.m. for Super League Raw Magic Weekend Special where we'll talk all things Magic. Do join us for that. We'd love to have your company for that one. But yeah, what we're going to do now is we're going to announce the Player of the Month of July. This was the team. And it's a toughie, this one. It is a toughie. There's no doubt about it. Get your thoughts in there. Of that starting 13, who's your player? We've already had a couple of votes for Mikey Lewis in the chat. We've had a couple in there. I think Craig Forth says that Jake Wardle was his because he scored a lot of tries, or one of them. But yes, he's right. But he did have a really, really good, solid month in July, did Jake Wardle. I say all of these players had great performances. Where would you go, Steph?
I'm trying to. It's difficult because we're trying to discount any performances in August. I would probably say Marshall. I think he had scored quite a few in July, didn't he? He had a bit of a
4 tries, mate.
Yeah,
4 tries.
But knowing you, it's probably Jai Whitbread.
Well, who knows? Again, another one for Wardle, another couple in there for Mikey Lewis. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't start turning off and throwing things at your screen. As always,
hang on, I've not had my say.
I'm coming to you, mate. But you know, when we announce it, don't do any of that business. You know, I'll always back it up with facts. So don't you worry about that. Greg,
Liam Horn, then definitely.
Who would you go with, Greg?
Well, it's between for me Matt Duffy, Jake Wardle, Mikey Lewis, and El Zakim. Oh, I'm going to go Jake Wardle.
You're going Wardle. Ian Judson, well, he's playing the game. Who are these 1 to 13? And he goes Josh Rourke at 17. Good man, Ian. Good to have your company, though. Looking forward to seeing you proudly wearing the Super League Raw merch in the press box at the weekend. Right, okay, here we go. Like I say, as always, painstaking as always. But this is the Super League Raw Player of the Month for the month of July.
Puts the kick into the net. Drinkwater helps it out to Williams, and then a lovely little pass, and Duffy's suddenly sailing through, and Duffy's got support, but he doesn't need it. He was sailing underneath the sticks.
There you go. It's a Warrington 1-2. This happens quite a lot. The people who've watched the show a lot, sometimes whoever the coach is, a lot of the time there's a player in his squad that sparkles. Duffy, 4 tries in the month, 6 assists, 29 tackle busts, 4 clean breaks, 82 carries, 778 metres, 9.4 average per carry. Now, there's a lot of people in the chat, Mikey Lewis. I get that, especially after the last couple of weeks as well. Mikey Lewis had a sensational July. Scored 5 tries, got 2 assists in there. 24 tackle busts, not far behind Duff there. 4 clean breaks, absolutely the same. Carries, slightly less, 76. A lot less in terms of metres, 451. But I actually felt that both he and Duffy, it was neck and neck for me. In my mind, I think you could argue for both of them. I really do. So I was like, right, I need to come up with something here. I need to come up with something that gives a little bit more credibility to the decision I was going to make because I was tied. There was a part of me that was thinking, do we give 2? And that just wouldn't be in the spirit. So I had to decide on one. You can't have 2. So this is what I did in order to determine it. I actually looked at how many man of the match performances both had in those 4 games. And that was the difference. Matt Duffy 3, Mikey Lewis 2. That was the bit.
Fair play.
Right. So Matt Duffy got 3 man of the matches in that period. Mikey Lewis got 2. So that's an issue. And month on month, this is in terms of points scored. This is the points that contribute to the Super League Royal Trophy. Matt Duffy scored 9 points and Mikey Lewis scored 7 in the same period. Now that's how I do it. And this is where we always get a bit of sport. Phil, you obviously don't watch Super League Royal Weekly on a regular basis. Maybe you should, my friend, because you will know nothing to do with that whatsoever. Nothing to do with that whatsoever at all. One of the reasons why so many people watch this show, and most of the people who meet me in person say how I remain unbiased like I do. They couldn't do it. They actually say that to me when they meet me. I could not be as unbiased as you. Go and look at all the team of the weeks. Go and look at all the team of the months, and you'll see actually. No, and it is one for you, and it is one for you, lads. So Matt Duffy, get this. This is about transparency. Matt Duffy in the 4 games of July did not get into team of the week once.
No,
he was a better fullback on the week. But consistently across the 4 games, Duffy was the best. And that is what makes the way we do it the right way. Because Duffy was...
I could have quite easily said Matt Duffy, but because I don't want to be biased.
No.
No. Come on, Phil.
Yeah, come on, Phil. Yeah, mate, we're better than that on this, mate. Like I say, he's not been in any team of the weeks. But what our team of the month does, I look across all the games, look at all the stats, plus what my eyes have seen. And it's about consistency in that month. Yeah. How consistent have they been? And of course, we do the Super League Trophy. I see.
All right, okay, Phil.
Getting the scotch out now, good lad. Right,
we'll let you off.
You'll let him off. But the thing is, remember, because we're about to move forward in a minute to the awards, and just to remind people how the Super League Royal Trophy is designed. So we do the 3-2-1 like the Goldthorpe, and we do and like the Man of Steel. We give an extra point for people who go in team of the week. We give 2 extra points if you get into team of the month, and the player of the month gets 3. So what ours does is it rewards a good individual game. It rewards consistency over the period of a month as well. That's what it does, and that is why we believe. That's why we believe that our award has a little bit more credibility. Because, of course, the other 2 is solely on what happens on an individual game.
Well, I can definitely speak as a neutral, and Duffy's the best number 1 in the comp by a mile.
By a mile. At this moment in time.
Phil, apologies for...
Well, absolutely. But the thing is, though, there'll be people who don't watch it every week who might think what Phil said in jest. And I think it's right that we clarify and we say no. Go by all means, go onto YouTube, look at all of our libraries, and you'll see there's no bias on this show. Yeah, not at all. Okay.
Ian's used a big word there.
He has preclude. I tell you what, Ian. They cannot preclude you having a wire player as our player of the month. Well, look, bottom line is, there you go. That's the team of the month. That's the coach of the month. That's the player of the month. Many, many congratulations. Right, we now get into the final part of the show. We'll do a few Q&As as well because we've got time for that. But we're now going to dip into the Goldthorpe, the Man of Steel, and the Super League Royal Trophy. I've told you how the Super League Royal Trophy is devised. The Man of Steel go behind closed doors after 16 rounds, so God only knows who they've got top of the pile. And I think
so they can pick whoever they want.
Call me cynical. But anyway,
it's top of ours, it's going to kick off.
The Goldthorpe don't do that. The Goldthorpe do publish right up until the end. But like I say, Icky Heathrow got a point this week. So anyway.
I could win the Goldthorpe medal.
Well, there you go. So anyway, let's step into that. We can have a chat about that, and then we'll take any Q&A that you've got. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our final dip in. We're not going to do this again. The last time that we're going to look at who's won awards is at the end of round 27 when they start to be given out. So this is the current state of play for the end of season awards.
It is time to check in for the final time on the 2024 Player of the Year Awards, starting with the Albert Goldthorpe Medal. And still leading after 21 rounds is Mark Sneed of the Salford Red Devils with 26, but Mikey Lewis of Hull KR, Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves, and Lachlan Lamb of the Lee Leopards have all scored heavily since round 15 and are hot on his heels. The Steve Prescott Man of Steel. Well, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, they get their votes behind closed doors from round number 16, so who knows what their league table looks like. This is how it was left after 16 rounds. Mark Sneyd and Matt Duffy both on 18 points apiece. Who is going to take the Steve Prescott Man of Steel 2024? And finally, the Super League Raw Trophy 2024. We have a new leader, and it's Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves with 34 points. Mikey Lewis again has scored heavily for the Super League Raw team. He's on 32 alongside Mark Sneyd. That's how it looks after 21 rounds. Which player is going to take the inaugural Super League Raw Trophy? We will be finding that out in 6 rounds' time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how the 2024 Player of the Year Awards are shaping up after 21 rounds.
So there you go. We have a new leader on the Super League Raw Trophy table. It is Matt Duffy. That's been because he got his 3 points for Player of the Month. But you can see there, Mikey Lewis is now level with Sneyd. And this goes back to why I believe the way we're scoring it is the right way. Sneyd had a really, really solid start to the season. But when you compare and contrast our scoring, he's still up there on 32. But how can he be still 6 points ahead of Mikey Lewis and 7 points ahead of Matt Duffy? It's a nonsense. The best 2 players currently in the comp do sit one and joint second at this moment in time. Duffy and Lewis is simply superb. Since round number 15 on the Goldthorpe, Lewis has scored 8 points. Duffy has scored 8 points. Lachlan Lamb, 13. He has really got a wriggle on since round 15. Williams has picked up another 6 points in the. I'll just put that one up actually while we're talking about it. Williams has put 6 points in that time. As for Sneyd, he's picked up a further 3. So, like I say, the likes of Lewis, Duffy really catching Mark Sneyd. But for me personally, nothing against Mark Sneyd. I think he's a great player, but he's not Man of Steel. I'm sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong, he could have a blistering last 6 games, and I might change my mind. But after 21 rounds, it will be a travesty for me personally, the way that Lewis and Duffy have played this season across 21 rounds. And like I say, we reward consistency. That's where, and like I say, Sneyd has been, but it was very much in the earlier part of the season. He's not scored that many points for us since round 15. I think he's only scored 1 since round 15. Compare that to Duffy 15, Lewis 14, Lamb 16. So that's basically how that looks. So yeah, that's how the trophies look. Over to you guys. Your thoughts?
On good authority, the player that's top of Man of Steel will win Man of Steel at the end of the season.
The player who sits Man of Steel.
Top of Man of Steel at the moment.
Mark Sneyd.
Yeah.
Mark Sneyd. Well, for me, that'd be a travesty.
Well, let's just leave it there.
He was, I mean, the first half of the season, I think he probably was right up there, in terms of every week he was getting man of the match on Sky, wasn't he? Pretty much. But I think since McDonald and Lafay have started picking up the games as well, then obviously they're going to start taking points off him, aren't they? So and other players like Briley coming back in and having good games for him is going to start picking him off, I think.
Yeah. Well, Craig Forth there has said in the chat, he's got the most points because he's an exceptional player in an average team. I don't think they're average. I think they're a very good team. When they've got the full squad out, they're a good team, Salford. But yeah, I mean, as we said earlier in the show about Robertson getting man of the match on Sky just because they want to interview, it's too easy to give Mark Sneyd man of the match and Salford win. It's too easy.
Yeah. Well, this is an argument we've had since we started doing this show, Dave, that it's always the easy pick that is chosen as man of the match, especially by Sky. It's always the easy pick. It's always the Wellsbys. It was always the Tompkins. And what can you do? It is what it is, isn't it?
It is what it is. Kai Fowler.
I hate that phrase because it's so wishy-washy, but kind of matches the man of the match performance winners sometimes.
Well, Kai Fowler there in the chat. Consider becoming a member, Kai. Consider becoming a member. Patreon.com, sir. I'll give you more information on that in a moment. But yes, if Wire get to the grand final, it's Duffy. If it's Lewis, well, what if they both got there?
What if they both get there, Kai?
What I would say, Mikey Lewis is Young Player of the Year. He has to be. Yeah, he has to be. He's been, but again, call me cynical, and again, it'd be a farce.
We'll get Young Player of the Year.
Who? Eckersley?
We'll get Young Player of the Year.
He can.
He will do.
Games, mate. Well, if you know, it's a nonsense.
James will be getting Man of Steel when he was substitute.
Mate,
He came on the substitutes bench.
be a
Harry
nonsense.
Robinson will get Young Player of the Year. I'm telling you that.
I think Eckersley, for me, if they're gonna do something like that, then the one that would be Eckersley. But again, as good as Eckersley's been, he's not been Mikey Lewis. Mikey Lewis throughout the season has been outstanding, absolutely outstanding. I love the player. He's a box office player.
Mikey Lewis is sensational.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's 24. Tom Mackey saying what's the cutoff? I think it's 24. Tom, I think it's 24. The class young player. It's not. It's older than you think it is. But I'm pretty certain that Mikey Lewis. That Mikey Lewis should be getting that. Phil Webster saying he thought that the players got votes. Not to my knowledge. It's all down to points.
They used to do.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah,
it's a panel.
Not anymore.
And again, they put it behind closed doors, which for me, if you're going to do that, then don't even announce the first 16 rounds. What's the point?
I can't see the point in that.
Well, you do. You know exactly what the point is.
Well, we do, but we can't say that, can we?
Well, yeah, but it opens itself up to this level of criticism.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. We live in a transparent world. At least I'd like to think so. Ian Judson saying about Hanley. He's saying about Hanley. I think Hanley's had good moments. I think he's done well.
He has, but he started he got, I think, 8 tries in 6 games or something like that. So, but he has dropped off a little bit in terms of his try scoring. But
sorry, Steph, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, mate.
It's all right.
And Semba's a good shout in the chat there.
Right.
He's not been as consistent as Lewis, though, has he?
It's a good shout, though. Maybe Lewis gets steal and Semba gets young player.
He's up there, isn't he?
He's up there. Oh, all day's up there. But I think, for me, Lewis for me is a shoo-in on that. He has to be. There's nobody. But anyway, John Wilkinson. Should the fans get a vote for Man of Steel? Well, John. It's funny you should say that, because my plan for next season is that members can do a blind vote of their top 3 from every game. Send them to me, and they will form the 3-2-1 in every game. Now, there is a proviso that if somebody was, for example, to give Seb Ikehefo a point, I'm going to ignore that, right? Because I can tell bias a mile away, right? It has to be credible. So get your blinkers off, because anybody can give Bevan French 3 points a game. That's not what it's about. And if you look at my scoring, it's credible. Be credible. If you want a vote, you have to do it properly. And my hope next year is that the Super League Raw members will get that vote to contribute to the 3-2-1. Inclusivity at Super League Raw.
That's good, but not for the official one, because fans with bigger fan bases would just...
Yeah, it'd just be,
Yeah.
It'd be Bevan French, Jay Field, Wellesby.
And that's it.
All day long, wouldn't it?
And remind me, Greg, I don't think we've never done it, have we? But I mean, if you look at our dream teams over the last few years, very few Warrington players have been in dream teams.
Yeah, well, and deservedly so.
There's a reason.
I've had more chance of getting in than some of the Warrington players over the last few seasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm forgetting there were dark days in there.
I had a full head of hair before Powell took over at Warrington.
Happy days. Well, look, there you go. I mean, that's been a really interesting show, because we haven't done anything around round 22 fixtures. Of course, that is Magic Round. We're going to be back 8 p.m. Friday to do Magic Round. If you consider, we would love you to consider becoming a member at Super League Raw. We want to be bigger. We want to be better. We want to be giving more prizes out, but that takes money. I do this out of the goodness of my heart. As you know, there is a membership there as well, and I plough the money back in terms of tickets. So, for example, Neil Renix, he's going to Magic Weekend, courtesy of Super League Raw. He won a ticket to go to Magic, having won the quiz. And, of course, we've sent people to the Challenge Cup final this year. Some really good prizes out there, but we need more people joining. 97 people are watching now. We haven't got 97 members. And I know we average about, across all platforms, about 5, 6, 7, up to 8,000 people watch this show every week. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. We need your support. That's how you do it. You go to patreon.com, Super League Raw, and what's good is that when you become a member, the amount of people who have upgraded that membership, because when they become a member and they get involved in this community, they love it. The WhatsApp group is fantastic. We have, people are making friends, where they're meeting full games, having beers, this, that, the other. We're all going together to Magic Weekend as a community. We're going to, have a bit of banter, have a bit of a laugh, have a couple of drinks and enjoy the rugby league together. Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? That's what our great sport has always been built on. The camaraderie of fans with total respect. That's what this platform's all about. So do please consider becoming a member. And we're going to be going 52 weeks a year as well. There you go. Well done, Dawn. Dawn says it costs less than a tin of biscuits. She's right. She's absolutely right. Forgo your custard creams. But no, but like I say, why not become a member? 52 weeks, close to. We'll have Christmas off. But we're going to be doing shows throughout the closed season. We're going to be having a bit of fun. We'll find things to talk about. We'll keep Rugby League going throughout the closed season as well. Nobody else is doing that. Everything else shuts down. We're going to carry on going because we love this great sport. Right. Ian Judson's gone in. Logan Moore, Young Player of the Year. He's a talent, the boy. I think there's no doubt about
it. I think next year might be his year rather than this year.
Yeah, I think you're right, Reggie. I think with the Lee Leopards heading there in 2025, playing, having John Asiata giving you the ball, and those kind of situations, he could definitely be up there next year. I think he's been superb this year for a young lad in a team that struggled for most of the season. I think he's been one of the shining lights at FC, and he had another great game against us at the weekend. So he's definitely up there. I don't think he'll get it, but I think he's up there.
And that's why, it's out of respect for Logan Moy, and I think the talent that we've seen in the kid, that when I was talking about Rourke earlier, I didn't mention All FC. Because I do think, well done, Tom Mackey. There he is.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom Mackey, that's what we're talking about. He's just gone and joined the membership, and he's not only gone for the starter pack, he's gone full throttle. He's like David Hasselhoff in Knight Rider. Oh, here we go, turbo boost it straight to the top. Tom Mackey, my sir, it looks like he's a KR fan. Don Kirkby and co will be delighted. He's a Team Talk member. He's going to be invited to the Final Whistle podcast. You'll be seeing a lot more of Tom in the weeks and months ahead.
It must have been my two presentations of the podcast that's convinced him there.
Absolutely.
He wants to join me after 8 pints on a Sunday.
Any more for any more? Any more for any more?
Weekend, let us know.
Absolutely, Tom. Yeah, if you come in Magic Weekend, can't get your T-shirt now. The cut-off's gone. I managed to get Fraser Howard at the one at the death. Fraser, that has been dispatched. That will be with you in time, mate. That's probably going to land tomorrow, I thought. I'm thinking. But Dawn Kirkby already. She's straight in. She's got another one. Oh, I don't know what that is there. There you go. Well done, Tom. Another KR fan is what she says. Good effort. But yeah, there you go. Happy days. And look, there's a link in the chat as well. So if you're on YouTube, go into the description. There's a link straight to Patreon there. And if you're on Facebook, there's also a link there. Please, please, please. Like Dawn says, this is entertainment. This is entertainment. That's what it is. You're getting it every Tuesday. The shows are going to come thick and fast. More in conversation on the way. More quiz nights. More prizes. We've got loads of stuff still in the pipeline that we want to get going over the next few years, but you need to be a part of it. Right, okay. Can't wait. Oh, here we go. What's this? Greg Roach saying he can't wait for the Team of the Week montage to be released. What, the best of, Greg? The best of? Oh, there's been some beauties in there. I thought the 80s one with the busts was outstanding.
Mate, I'm surprised we've not been sued.
I'm surprised. That's about as close. That's about as close to the bone as I've got this year. Right, any more questions for any more? Any more questions for any more? We'll just give you a couple of minutes. Come on, give us a good question to finish on.
Let's have a good question.
Let's have a good question to finish on. We've got the time, and we'll have a little chat about that. But yeah,
Joe Dalgreen's getting to the spirit of it.
Yeah, the wagon wheels are falling off. Hey, Joel Delgreen saying there's too many KR fans in there. The wagon wheels are falling off. Outstanding.
Oh, Craig.
Always support your club. That's what we're talking about. Oh, hey, up it's Phil. Come on, Phil, get signed up. Don Kirkby saying, I don't know who. Is that Phil Webster?
Phil Webster, yeah.
Phil Webster, I'm guessing. Good. That's it, Don. That's it, Don. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Kai Fowler, another man who's, I'm sure, debating joining the membership, but it's a good question. Who would be England's 6 and 7? That's a great question. I mean, we don't. Well, the 6 is a nonsense, not because of you, Kai. It's because George Williams is captain, and as long as Sean Wayne is England coach, as long as Williams is fit, he's 6. Done. So what we're debating really, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I believe it should be on form anyway. But Williams has had a decent season. Who's 7?
Mikey Lewis.
Yeah, all day long.
But it'll probably be Harry Smith.
You said who should be, not who will be.
No, that's how. For me, at international level, the normally. I mean, it's hard, this, isn't it, lads? Because at international level, you need a good rugby brain like we've seen Smith do this in World Club challenges and in finals, in tight competitive games. We know that he's got the smarts to manage a game. I think Lewis has still got a bit of development there, if we're being honest. That said, if you want to break a game open at international level, if you want that little bit of something, that little bit of difference, that's Mikey Lewis, isn't it?
Well, I would caveat my thingy with there's only one player of those two that we're saying that should be going to the NRL.
Yeah.
And that's Mikey Lewis.
Spot on.
Who always do what your opposition doesn't want you to do.
Correct.
Yes.
Who would you rather face? Harry Smith, who's going to kick well, Mikey Lewis, who you haven't got a clue what he's going to do.
No.
Yeah.
Lewis is boxer. I think
we're all scared of Lewis, 100%.
Yeah. And I think in another 2 years, I think it'll be frightening now. I mean, because his strength as well. I mean, he's a strong lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
He really is a strong lad, no doubt. Right, let's
carry
on.
Questions coming in.
Yeah, Greg Roach, which team has the best home advantage? Are we talking referees here, sir? Are we talking? That's a good question. Where are you going? Where are you going with that one, Greg?
Which team has the best home advantage? I don't. That's a difficult one because Hull KR at the minute, their crowd gets behind them. Oh, that's a difficult one. That really is. It depends who's playing who on any given day.
I'll tell you it is.
Leopards.
No.
Go on.
No, Lee's got a good home advantage because of the North Stand is very, very effective for Lee. And okay, I definitely have, but 100% it's Catalan. Catalan have got the most. It's the most in-your-face crowd whenever you go there. They're on the referee all the time. In fact, have a go back through the archives on YouTube and look at Brian McDermott when he was at Leeds when they played at Catalan and see what he said about the so the reason they've won is them behind me. So it's 100% Catalan.
Fair enough. I think for me, I think there's also shouts. I mean, I think KR and possibly Castleford, just because of the design of the ground, they're still
Leeds. The South Stand at Leeds.
But I'm thinking they're proper old school grounds, aren't they? Where they're right on top of you, and you know that's an interesting one. But yeah, fair enough.
I'm going back to what Steph says. I don't disagree with you, but Catalans sometimes have a tendency to turn on their own players. And I'm more vociferous in that, which is another big word. I'm more vociferous in that turning on their own players than a lot of other clubs are sometimes. I'm not disagreeing with you in any way, which is why I said sometimes it depends on who's playing who and where. You know, it's a good question, Greg.
It is.
It really is.
It is a good
question.
Real
good question.
All right, right. I'm going to go back in. Leon Hayes will be seeing him next year. Ian Judson, and I do love Ian. Ian is. He comes up with some belters, doesn't he? So it's only right and it's only appropriate. I have to disagree with you. I don't want to disagree with you, my friend, but I'm going to disagree with you. Don't forget the Old Faithful got All FC over the line against Wigan in the shock of the year. It possibly was, but it's rivaled by the Catalan one at London.
Yeah.
Really rivaled by that. I mean, you'd be tossing a coin for me. London Catalan, Hull FC Wigan. It's a close one.
Yeah, I do think he's probably
just right.
Just about, I would say.
Right. Yeah. If we got a rule out instead of that protractor we were talking about earlier, he probably just.
On the day Warrington fans can get their team over the line, on the day Leeds fans can get their team over the line, it is a real difficult one. That one.
Yeah. No, it is a difficult one. It is a difficult one. USA Rugby League, always good to have them in the room. He's just finished watching the London Wire game. Says he hopes that London can come into Super League, remain in Super League, which is fine. Who should be 9 in current form? This again, I'm presuming John's talking England or Great Britain. Who would your hooker be? A good question. Contenders would be Jez Litton,
Walker.
Gaz Clark.
Well, he's injured, isn't he? So it
Only
depends
for a
how.
month. He'll be back. He'll be back by then. Obviously,
I've been impressed with Sam Powell this season. His control of the game has been superb.
What about Cruz Lehman at Wigan?
Yeah, Cruz Lehman.
Yeah, Lehman's come back strong, hasn't he? Yeah, I mean, that is a real question.
You can have two, can't you? Because one of them's on the bench.
Yeah, they'll be interchanged.
Yeah. Well, Sean Wayne, he'll pick McIlroy all day long.
No.
Well, again, nothing to surprise you. But I mentioned Jez Litton because I feel for Jez Litton. I think he's right. I think Jez Litton these last 2 years has steadily improved his game. He's a good player. He's had a great mentor in Matty Parcell. I like the kid. Whether he get a shot or not, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But should he be talked about?
Should do. He should. And Tom makes a good point. O'Neill, but I think he's got a season-ending injury.
He won't be back in time.
He was in contention, O'Neill.
Yeah, so it's turned into an England debate here. We're going to be calling this in a few minutes. But England's best starting wingers, Ashton and Young. I think there's no doubt Dom Young gets one of the wings.
Yeah, I think Liam Marshall might have something to say about that as well.
I'd go with Marshall and Ashton, to be honest.
Marshall's try-scoring record over the last few years.
I would go with Marshall and Ashton, if I'm being honest with you.
Again, Marshall more so than Ashton. Marshall more so than Ashton, based on his try-scoring record, the trophies he's won, should be talked about. That said, for raw pace, and I think one of the things that Ashton's improved these last few years is his defence.
Yeah.
He's got a lot better at his defence.
I'd love to see Young back in Super League. I really would.
Could you not play Young at centre?
But then we got good centres. I mean,
Farnworth.
We've got Farnworth class. He's in.
Yeah.
He has to be in. And then you look at the likes of Wardle. Why put a square pegging around no when you've got Jake Wardle?
Yeah, don't be putting Bateman or Fowler in the centre.
Yeah,
please stop it.
You don't want any of that. Yeah,
stop shooting them in because they've got Wigan connections.
It's
like having Sinfield at number 6.
What this proves, gentlemen, what this proves is that when the season's over, we're still going to be able to get a good hour's showing because we'll just, we can sit here, there'll be people being signed, fixture lists will be coming out, and we'll be having a right good chat amongst ourselves in terms of what the 2025 season holds. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like I say, great, we've got a new member tonight. We need more of you. This is how the Super League looks going in to Magic Weekend. And as Steph said, I think on the Final Whistle podcast, isn't it wonderful, he says as it won't come up. Here he comes. There you go. Isn't it wonderful that every team have played 21 games? It's a clean league in that respect. The Robins taking on the Catalan Dragons. That's going to be a great game. The Warriors and the Saints, not what we usually would expect in terms of their starting lineups. We'll be talking about that on Friday night. A lot of changes coming for both sides. The halfbacks pretty much decimated on both sides. It's sort of the stage is set for somebody to come and make a name for themselves. We know that some of the talent one of the players that we didn't talk about, Jake Burns, who had a phenomenal game for St. Fair play to that. He was very good at the weekend. Good on him. The Wolves take on the Leeds Rhinos again, a must-win game for the Leeds Rhinos. That's where we are now. Same for the Leopards when they go up against the Salford Red Devils. Those two teams cannot afford to lose for me now. They've got to get on a winning streak, and because the more they can keep winning, the more pressure is then applied to, dare I say it, Saints, Dragons and Red Devils. The injury problems that Saints got in key positions, I still think they're going to be too good. They will remain in the 6, but let me tell you now, stranger things have happened. They have got to navigate the rest of August without those key players. No Dodd, no Wellesby, no Lomax. They've got no Clark now. I mean, they've ripped the spine out of that team. And then you take
Knowles.
No Knowles. I mean, Knowles this year has been, for me, probably his best season for 4 years for me. Morgan Knowles this year. He's had a fine season. So that's going to be good. And even the other two games, FC Broncos, look at it down there. I mean, it'd be unbelievable. FC fans, don't take that one for granted. Do not take that for granted. Hull FC, done you once, close in the other game. It could easily be 6-6 and tied when we get back from the other side of Magic Weekend. And, of course, then the Tigers and the Giants, which is closing the curtain on it. But I, for one, still think that'll be a good game. I do. Maybe a good game. Maybe a
They're
good
all
game.
good games. They're all good games.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So there you go. They're all good. Anyway, all of that is in the chat. Tom Mackey's given us his full England team. Good lad, Tom.
Is Tom a member? Is Tom a member?
He's just become a member tonight. So actually, as he's become a member tonight, let's read out his team. Good lad, Tom. Here we go. Ellsby at fullback, Young and Ashton on the wings, Farmer from Wardle in the middle, Williams and Lewis, Thompson, Litton. He's gone with Litton. Good lad. James Harrison. That's an interesting one. And Sember, Richter Radley, and Morgan Smithies. That's interesting. A lot of players there. A lot of players there that are omitted from that squad. But anyway, we're going to have to call time on another edition of Super League Raw Weekly because we've got 2 shows this week, not 1. We're going to be back 8 p.m. Friday as we build up to the greatest community-spirited weekend of rugby league. We're all going to get together. We're all going to enjoy the sport on show. As Kamal Khan once said to James Bond, let the sport commence. Oh, yes, 100%. We'll be there. We will be there. We will be looking forward to meeting you. Come and say hello to us. Watch the show on Friday. We'll have a really good build-up to it. We'll discuss all the games in full. Might even be the odd video here and there as well. We'll make it good and entertaining for you. We're back at 8 p.m. We will be at Magic. Probably, me and Greg are probably scheduled to arrive about midday, about 12 o'clock.
It's scheduled. Limo, red carpet, bunting.
Absolutely. And I know there's a fans, I think there's a fan zone as well, which probably be a good place for us to go and visit early doors. But yeah, we'll arrange all of that with the members over the course of the next couple of days on WhatsApp as to where we're going to meet. And as Steph will show you, we're going to be very easy to recognise. Come on, Steph, give us a twirl. There is the official Super League Raw Magic Weekend t-shirt. That's what we'll be wearing. Make sure you come and say hello to us. And yeah, there might even be a t-shirt for the grand final. That'd be an interesting one as well. But gentlemen, as always, been a great night of sport. Great entertainment. Steph, as always, a pleasure.
Loved it, guys. Great to have you back.
And Mr. Nixon, as always, sir, you're a legend and can't wait for a quality weekend of sport.
See you later, guys.
Indeed. Enjoy the rest of your week. Make sure you're with us at 8 p.m. on Friday night. From all of us here, thanks as always for your company. Don't forget, join the membership. Bye for now. Before we go, we've got to do top performers. We'll do top performers and then we'll go. Here we go.
Here are your top performers after 21 rounds of the Betfred Super League. Still leading the try-scoring chart is Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors with 21. The top try assist now, it's a 4-way tie with Mark Sneed, Lachlan Lamb, Mikey Lewis and Matt Duffy, all on 19 apiece. The most meters made in Super League is Matt Duffy of the Warrington Wolves, 3,844 and counting. The top tackle buster is Lockie Miller of the Leeds Rhinos with 175, whilst the most clean breaks have come from the try-scoring machine, Liam Marshall, with 29. The most offloads continue to be the enforcer of Hull FC, Herman SASA, with 44, whilst the most hard meters made has been Reece Martin of the Leeds Rhinos with 2,262. The most tackles have been made by the Leeds Rhinos captain Cameron Smith with 766. And the top goal kicker remains Mark Sneed, 71 for the Salford Red Devils. These are your top performers after 21 rounds of the Betfred Super League.